So what holds us back? Well, it's still a boys' club. Our current power structures are male. If we look at our political world, the senators, congressmen, governors, it's male dominated. If we look at boards of directors, this is what the majority of our boards look like, our corporate boards. A lot of our work environments are based on how men communicate, and an emotional response by a woman is often considered unprofessional or weak. There's the automatic presumption that a male employee is competent, whereas a female employee must prove herself. And I'm not saying all this to rag on men by any means, because the biggest complaint we get from female employees is fellow female colleagues or superiors. So we also have to do ourselves a service and help each other and support each other. What I believe very strongly that we need to do is to leverage the unique gifts that are inherently female. And we need to enlist our male colleagues in supporting us. Men have a really important role here, and we absolutely need their help and support in making this happen. You know, there are a couple of unique things that we bring to the table, right? As women, we naturally encourage participation and collaboration, and that's a really good thing for businesses. We typically are better at emotional empathy than men, which allows us to build team rapport and chemistry and build great organizational cultures. Women leaders are also more open to exploring less conventional leadership styles and decision making. So these are all good things that we need to be thinking about and leveraging. Success looks different now. Things have changed. Being an entrepreneur means solving problems, seeing an opportunity, and making it happen. But at the end of the day, you, as the individual, get to define what success looks like for you. What do you want for yourself? What do you want for your business? Right? That is going to be incredibly unique. And that's what you need to be thinking about and focusing on. Don't get caught up with comparing yourself to others in a way that beats you down. I started my business because where I grew up and how it shaped me, along with my work experience, drove me to want to create better workplace experiences that fostered diversity and fostered empowerment. Finding the gap is about innovation. Oftentimes, we worry that we don't have sort of a life-changing idea. But what I've discovered as I've looked at entrepreneurs and looked at my history as well, we don't need a life-changing idea. What we want to do, and what often is underestimated, is solving everyday problems. A couple of years ago, when I first started the business, I wanted to be a guest lecturer at a university, and I was sitting down with the guy who sort of managed all of the faculty interviews. And it was an informal meeting, so it wasn't a formal interview. And he asked me a question about, tell me about your teaching experience and what classes have you taught? And I automatically just froze up, and I thought, well, I haven't taught any classes. I'm not a professor. I'm not an instructor. I've never done this. And I stammered and I stuttered and I tried to talk my way through it. And I was really, really annoyed with myself, because when I left, I reflected on that conversation and said, my gosh, think about all the experiences you've had and think about how you could have flipped that conversation in a very different way to say, yes, of course I've done this. Because what I do in my work and what I have done in business is facilitate conversations, facilitate workshops, design curriculum, design retreats, get people to have an experience so that they learn and have insights. And that's what teaching is about. And what I needed to do was to tell that story instead of get all worked up and lose confidence in the fact that I hadn't been an actual faculty member. So think about how you can take your experiences and turn them into yeses. An experience that I'll share is early in my business again, a former boss reached out to me and said, hey, I've got a piece of work for you. I've got someone who needs an employee relations investigation done in their organization. And I thought it would be something great that you could do. And I sort of just sat there and was like, there's no way I want to take this piece of work. I don't want to take it because I hated doing investigations when it was part of my job early in my career. It certainly does not align with my passion. It does not align with the plan I have for the Silvering Group. I don't want to do it. I don't like doing it. I know that if I did it, I wouldn't do a great job. And probably most importantly, it was not the brand I wanted to build for our business. And so I said, no, thank you. This is not part of what we do, but I'm happy to connect you with someone who can do it. And when you say no, it's incredibly liberating. I felt so powerful by saying no. It clarified for me what I would do and what I wouldn't do. And I also want to say, I didn't have a ton of work on my plate at that time. I had one client and I was probably at about 30% capacity. So I had tons of opportunity and time, but it was really important to say no. And I said no. That sort of empowerment, that shot on the arm I got from saying no, allowed me to say no other times. And it also sent a message to people that I was really focused and I was really clear about what work I was going to do and what the purpose of my organization was. When you think about what stays on your plate versus what you outsource or delegate, you kind of ask yourself the question, what do I do best? And where are my skills and talents needed the most? And that's where you focus. And then you ask the question, how do I leverage my team? What do they do best? And how do I give them work to do that leverages what they do best? So it's the same principle when you're running your business. You need to really think about what is best for you to outsource to someone who does it better, what's best to delegate. And I get it, it is super hard to do that, particularly when you are running your own business and building your business in those early stages. What I would say is don't let our current power structures get in your way. Leverage the unique gifts that you have. Enlist everyone to help support and cheer you on. Think about what you want for your business and go get it.